Hello, welcome to The One. My name is George Schlakek, and this is the end of 2023 or the beginning of 2024. Welcome to my channel. This is a new channel. It's only been going since I think August or so, and I am glad you're here. Now this video is a little bit different from my other ones that I made. And it's kind of a review of my year of 2023 when it comes to flying my drone, making drone footage. At the end of 2022, I was in a kind of transition. I am self-employed as a professional handyman besides trying to get my drone business flourishing. And at the end of 2022, I had lost my work truck to theft. Somebody drove away with it, and I never saw it again till this day. It's been over a year. October 2022, that thing disappeared. So here I was at a crossroads, and this it was a tough decision at the time, believe me, but I decided I'm gonna get a DJI Air 2S and I'm gonna take it all the way, try to earn some money with my drone so perhaps I could get by without all the handyman jobs. Well, this wasn't the only thing I did at the time because it was quite scary, I'll be honest with you. But the year, in hindsight, it turned out okay, even though I haven't reached all the goals that I was hoping for. Anyways, here's a quick review of every month that I went through in 2023. Well, starting in January, I had just bought my DJI Air 2S, and there were very few days when the temperature here in Alberta actually allowed me to fly it. Here's some of the footage. In Alberta winter, sometimes you have to get really lucky to get a day like you see here. This is the Rochford Trestle Bridge. It is one of the longest remaining wooden trestle bridges in North America. And on this day, temperature was mild enough to fly the Air 2S. Then another day, it was also on the weekend, we went to Andrew, Alberta. This grain elevator is actually a museum during the summertime, and in the winter, there's nothing going on, so it was a perfect place to practice. Another favorite is this old building in the middle of nowhere. The goal was to capture this manually with the camera steadily pointed at the house while going around it. In February, I couldn't complain about any temperature issues. My wife Barbara and I, we were lucky enough to spend the whole month in the warm country. We went to Mexico, and in Mexico, you're not allowed to fly your drone unless you're a Mexican citizen and have a license and it's registered, unless your drone weighs under 250 grams. The DJI Mini 2, yay, I got some great footage from that trip. A personal favorite is this clock tower in the center of Merida. I was so unsure whether it was okay to fly there, but nobody really cared. However, I had to go early in the morning when there weren't too many people around. When we came back here in March, I was preparing for passing my flight review for the Advanced Canadian License. I had just passed the online multiple choice exam before our trip, and now I was looking forward to actually completing this and getting my Advanced Canadian License. The difference between a basic license here and an advanced one is that with the advanced one, I can, providing my drone is certified for it, I can fly up to 5 meters close to people. I can also fly in controlled airspace. I can fly in those areas where there are other aerodromes like hospital landing pads and that kind of thing. So to start a drone business with having to perhaps take on clients whose house might be in the control zone of an airport, this seemed important. And it's also a good thing to give you some credibility and learn about all the rules and all the aspects of aviation. So here are some videos from my practice flights that I did in March and early April. One of my all-time favorite places to fly is our North Saskatchewan River. There isn't a time of the year when this river doesn't look beautiful. This is the Fort Edmonton footbridge, and I enjoyed going right under it. Not all my practice flight turned out such beautiful footage, but they're still worth keeping. Here's even a clip of the park where I eventually passed my flight review. Yes, I went there to practice. Then in April, I finally passed that flight review first shot, and I was looking forward at an exciting year with my drones. In May, I was flying a lot. I was scoping out new areas to fly. A problem we had here in Canada was that the wildfires had already started because the summer had started early. We had a very dry spring, and then before it was even summer, we had a crazy fire season here. It was hard to find a good day with a clear sky. Basically, this problem persisted all summer long, so some of my clips here, they aren't as beautiful as they perhaps could have been. But then again, the hazy air probably made for more even lighting. My favorite time to fly, early on the Sunday morning. Edmonton had a fire ban all summer long. There were lots of evacuees here in the city. So it was kind of scary, but you just make the best out of it in that case. I did some crazy stuff too, like you can see here. This is difficult, believe me. In July, Barbara and I went on a trip. We went a little bit all over British Columbia. I had the opportunity to get some beautiful footage of lakes and nature and started uploading more and more on Pond 5. Here's one of my favorite clips. You see how the sky is reflecting in the water? I love this kind of thing. Stock footage. I mean, maybe I can make money on stock footage. That was my idea, and I'm gonna make a video about that sometime because it seems like even after 600 clips on Pond 5, it's not really that easy to get sales.
Stupid idea of the year.
See, there's a McDonald's over there somewhere. It's nearby. August, we were back here, and again, it was a good month. There was still a lot of wildfire smoke around here. I got a lot of good flights in the city. A big favorite is this close-up of the Canada building. There's a place called the Accidental Beach just across the river from there, so it's really easy to get this view. But the challenge, as always, is to fly as smoothly as possible. Here I went to an industrial area on a Sunday evening hoping to get some nice shots of the Yellowhead, the highway, and it ended with a police officer showing up. But in the end, he didn't care about me flying the drone. He was just wondering what else I might be doing. Finally, in September, the weather started clearing up more and more. It was actually a very beautiful late summer, early fall. This is Edmonton's Walterdale Bridge, taken early in the evening.
This is within one of the warning zones for a helipad in Edmonton, so I took advantage of my advanced license here. One of my favorite shots of the entire year is this clip of the Alberta legislature. The lighting, it turned out perfect, and see the city in the background, I just love it. Very proud of that.
Barbara and I both have birthdays around the end of September, early October. We're within 5 days of each other. So we did a little trip out to the hot springs at Miette in Jasper National Park. Now, in any national park in Canada, you can't launch a drone, but there are beautiful places just outside the parks where you can do that, and I have some footage of those areas. The trees start changing colors during that time, but the weather is still very mild.
This area is called Beaver Boardwalk, and it's in Hinton. There are lots of good cycling trails in the area as well, but we didn't bring our bikes, and it's more for mountain bikes anyways. Here's a clip that was taken later that day on the way home. See how beautiful the light is and the colors? One thing I never get tired of are these old abandoned farmhouses. Maybe somebody is going to use it for their movie one time, because this one is on Pond 5 as well.
Now then we're going into November, and while there are no more leaves on the trees and the environment doesn't look colorful anymore, it just looks kind of brown and gray. The sky, guys, the sky is so amazing. It's hard sometimes to get the right lighting for the sky.
Despite it being a really mild November, we still started having ice on the river. Here you see the Edmonton riverboat and beautiful reflections on the water, don't you think? Here's a similar shot. This is a power station further down the river.
Then finally in December, all of a sudden, the days that you can actually fly a drone in the morning were kind of non-existent, but the temperatures would still, and this is actually unusual for December in this part of the world, they would come up above zero. Both my drones, DJI Air 2S and the Mini 2 as well, they have a limited temperature range, and below freezing you're not supposed to fly them. Now the Mini 2, because the rules are not so strict, I sometimes just ignore it and I fly it with caution. As long as the batteries are warm and you don't overdo your flying time, don't fly it too far away and stuff, you can get a little bit of flying done. Now the Air 2S, the rules are much more strict, and I just don't fly it when it gets below zero, because I don't want to be liable for it landing in an emergency and coming down on some car or someone doing damage. So for me it's a no-no.
Hey, it was well above freezing that day. This is the Ukrainian Heritage Village east of Edmonton. Closed in the winter, of course.
Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this little flashback to my drone flights of 2023. I wish you all the best going forward. A happy and healthy 2024. So I hope you have a drone as well, and I hope you get into the hobby and enjoy it as much as I do.
Hyperlapse.
It really is a fantastic hobby, and when I think about just maybe 3-4 years ago, I mean, I was aware that I could buy a drone. I was aware that it's something I'd like to try. Lots of good YouTube videos with drone footage, but I had absolutely no idea how much I would enjoy this and what the possibilities are. Now going forward, there's going to be some travel. I'm not going to be able to use the DJI Air 2S for a little bit, but I have some things in mind that I want to get good at, that I want to do. There's a hyperlapse setting on the DJI Fly app for the Air 2S. Well, I haven't really done very many hyperlapses, and I'd like to perfect that technique, and there'll be some videos about that later toward the spring. And in the immediate future, there will be some videos about flying your drone in a foreign country and the legalities and some beautiful footage of where we're going to be. So I hope you join me for that. And in the meantime, all the best.
Here's my absolute final clip of 2023. I hope you like it. All the best.